I did a review a while back on the PRS Swamp Ash Special SE. Look a little bit different? That's because when I got this guitar, I loved it. But after a little while, I got that feeling, maybe I can do something to make this just a little bit better. The age-old question, to mod or not to mod? In this case, I think I went a little bit mod crazy and created what I've now dubbed from Boston, the Green Monstah, the Swiss Army knife of Paul Reed Smiths. Normally, I don't mod guitars. I'm a collector. I'm someone who believes in keeping things historically accurate, defending the faith. But I bought this guitar with my hard-earned money, and I could do with it whatever I please. It came with the 8515S pickups, and I really liked them in this guitar at first. But the more I played it, the more something sounded a little off to me. It wasn't until I did my review of the CE24 Satin that I realized, wow, I really do love the 8515S pickups. And this thing, not in love in the Swamp Ash Special. Can the same pickups sound exactly the same in every single guitar? No, absolutely not, because I loved them in this. They were okay in this. Is it the fact that this is all mahogany and this is swamp ash? Is it the fact that there's little fairies running around underneath the rosewood on this one? All the pixie dust? I don't know. But what I can tell you is, this one sounded better, and that didn't make me happy. So I decided to call my friend Josh, who's been modding and taking care of many of my guitars for the better part of 25 years. Josh was the guy that put the piezo bridge in my 1977 Flying V and all of this reflective everything. Josh helped me Jeff Beck the crap out of this 2001 Texas Special Fender Stratocaster and put 3 AGI lace sensor humbuckers in this thing and piezo and a Fishman preamp. It's crazy. Josh even helped me crack the code on this 1954 Les Paul Professional Roadshow prototype. Put the original pickups back in, and then redo all the electronics that weren't inside just as Les Paul did, including making a decade switch from scratch. An 11-position switch that you can toggle to different size capacitors that act like a high-pass filter. Does that sound crazy? Because it is. And Josh made one for this. Well, what do you want this guitar to do? I said, Josh, it's not what I want it to do, it's what I want it to be, which is white and green. I like DiMarzio pickups, and I know that the Deactivator X's, you can customize these poles to be any color you want, and all I kept thinking is white and chrome. So is that too much to ask? Josh put in the order to DiMarzio. Then I started thinking to myself, well, what do I really want this guitar to do? And I realized I wanted to have some Telly sounds, some Strat sounds, some Les Paul sounds, to be able to go across the gamut. Then I realized I had these Deactivator X's in my Emily Wolf Epiphone that Josh also modded for me. So I started playing it, started pulling on this tone knob that splits these pickups and realized, oh no. Although these pickups sound amazing, they don't have that much treble. It's made for high gain and they don't want it to be screechy and microphonic. Maybe that's what I want. So I called Josh back. I don't want those DiMarzio Deactivator X's. And he says, I've already ordered them. I also ordered you a Satch track for the middle, you know, like Joe Satriani, and it's paid for, so that's what you get. I want it to sound treblier, and these things aren't gonna sound like a Strat. You could do anything you want. We can do anything we want. You want more treble? Fine. I'm gonna take the circuit that I had for this Tone Tweak Q. Usually I put it inside a pedal. I'm gonna put the circuit from the pedal inside your guitar. You're gonna put an active EQ boost pedal in my guitar to make my DiMarzio sound more like a Strat. We can do that with the 3-band graphic EQ. And that's what Josh did. Behold, the Green Monstah. Look at these knobs. They're like alien skulls. This one right here is for the volume, and if you pull it out, activates the preamp, treble, mid, and bass EQ when you activate that preamp. A designated volume for the middle pickup that you can roll in and out, and split position. You have the preamp volume boost here. And of course, this is not a 3-way, this is a 6-way freeway switch, they call them. So all up here is humbucker, these top 3 positions, and then down below is all split positions. Maple fretboard with the coveted abalone birds. Look at this truss rod cover. you got the Neurotic Guitarist right on it. I didn't ask for this, but Josh put my Neurotic Guitarist logo right at the scarf joint. He put it on the back plate, and then he put another one on the other back plate. Pretty wild. I was getting ready for this video, trying to figure out what everything does and what I love about it the most so I could talk about it on camera, and my dog rings the bell. And by the bell, I mean there's a bell on my door that when my dog needs to pee or wants to go play ball or pretty much just wants to beckon me, he rings the bell. So if anything, it's my bell. So I'm down here doing my thing, the door's open, I hear okay, Charlie, okay, we'll go outside. If I don't take him immediately, first time it'll be ding, and then 30 seconds later it'll be ding. Charlie's getting mad. So it's 8:30 at night, it's pitch black outside, and in the sky, I see like 15 what look like stars, or UFOs, in this formation straight down like a pencil across the sky. And I'm with Charlie. Do you see the aliens? And I immediately pull out my phone and I'm trying to video it, and I'm like, what do? I'm gonna call my wife to come out and not capturing it. It looks like nothing. I put my phone down. Over to the left side of my periphery, I see a plane flying. And when I go back and look at all these orbs, lights, whatever you want to call them, they're way higher than the freaking plane. Whatever the stratosphere is, these things are like a tick below. Charlie's just finishing up his business, and as he is, I notice that these lights start moving upwards into outer space and start to fade away one at a time. And I walk back inside to my wife and my daughter, and I tell them, I have seen the aliens. They're here. Guess we should just accept it. And they look at me crazy at first, but they're like, okay, you saw the aliens. And then I call my mom and dad, and I tell my mom and dad, I saw the aliens, and they're here. My third call, because I'm freaking out. It was like fire in the sky. I call my buddy Shannon Larkin, the drummer from Godsmack, also the drummer in our band Spirit Wheel. And I'm like, Shannon, I saw the aliens. And Shannon tells me, Benny, I too saw the aliens. What? There were 16 of them, and they went straight up in a formation into the sky, and then they just went up. I'm like, Shannon, that's what I saw. Yeah, me and Heather, Shannon's girlfriend, pulled over to the side of the road and started counting them, bro. It was crazy. And then we got back home and Googled it, and it turns out that those little lights in the sky are just Starlink, the web service that Elon Musk has created. He's gonna fly all these satellites just below the stratosphere to give us internet. Because if you go through the atmosphere, you try to send a signal, you get a bunch of degradation, and it's not gonna be as fast as if you hover just below the stratosphere. Mr. Musk has made these super expensive satellites to fly into space to give people Starlink internet service. What I thought was an alien abduction was just a commercial for Starlink. I'm not sure which is scarier, that I was almost abducted by aliens, or that the aliens were in fact only Elon Musk. So I'm gonna go set this up in my studio. I'm gonna show you what the Green Monstah can do. Lead pickup. Now both. Now rhythm. It's a 6-way freeway switch. What I just showed you was all humbuckers. Now I'm gonna go to single coils. And by the way, I can turn down this all the way. That's the middle pickup. Now if you notice, a whole lot more treble. And I can split it. The bottom part of the freeway switch, the 6-way switch, single coil, 2 single coils, and then single coil again. Check out the schematic. Now these 2 single coil. And the rhythm deactivator single coil. Now let's roll in that middle pickup humbucker. Split it. Where it gets crazy is the fact that Josh built a tone tweak Q pedal into this thing. I have to keep most of the knobs around 75% because if I turn this active EQ up all the way, it's wild. I pulled out the volume knob and hear the difference? If I turn up the normal volume 100% and this preamp volume, super crispy. Although if you're trying to solo, that could probably work as a boost pedal. Wait a minute, that is a boost pedal. I can turn up the highs all the way, turn down lows and mids right in the middle. Listen to the difference of that. Night and day. Blast the mids. It is overwhelming how much stuff you can do and how many tonal combinations there are. I honestly don't even know how I could properly exemplify this in a demo. In any reasonable amount of time, I would have to cycle through like 6 million different options. So let's hear what it sounds like with some high gain, what these deactivators are really made for. Lead pickup. I feel like it's an old Atari controller here. Now let's turn on the tone tweak Q. So you have the magnetic pickup. Now with my crazy treble turned up all the way. Now roll in the middle. So I'm not one to mod guitars, but when I do, and by me, or I, and by I mean Josh, but when Josh does, he mods them. And in this case, creating one of the craziest guitars I own. Was it worth paying more than the price of this guitar to make it into the Green Monstah? I don't know. I barely scratched the surface of what this thing can do. But what I can tell you is, I think I'm gonna call Starlink because the UFOs are right over my house right now and I need faster internet. Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?